Yo, what up, guys? So, I wanted to do an update on AMC. Now, although you guys might call me crazy here for the fact of why are you making videos on AMC? This company's garbage, blah, 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 right? This is what I want to tell you. When you have a lot of hype around a stock, obviously you know that it can take off like crazy. Whether the news is there, whether the company's fundamentals are actually there, or if it's just people speculating, right? So the reason that this happens, in my opinion, and I'm very big on, technical analysis, obviously, and basically this cause is from buying and selling. So the whole point of using technical analysis is it shows you when a lot of buyers are starting to buy. It shows you rounding price action, shows you moving averages starting to move further up based off of this buying and selling. And it creates chart patterns and shit like that people actually play. So, that being said, you can see how this happened. So, obviously, there must have been some talk of the short squeeze, and we had that big W. We had this pattern that, in my opinion, there was no way of it really breaking out of, but it worked out the way it did because obviously that's what happened. And I think we've been over this, but I'm going to go over it shortly because I do like to go over and kind of analyze shit piece by piece. Oh, just waiting for my car to warm up so I can go get some coffee here. So don't mind me if I'm shivering. And, the potential breakout of this thing, wasn't supposed to be anything too crazy, right? 1043, but of course, the hype got to it. And it went all the way up to 2029. Or, 2029. Yep. Okay. So, we talked about it the other day, that we saw this thing starting to round up quite a bit. And the technicals were calling for further upside here. So I was saying that if we could actually maintain support above this $8 level, which actually ended up becoming, I think we were saying 787. And let me look at the hourly. It was 787 was originally what we talked about, right? And, I kind of redid the charts a little bit, and I went off of, actually, it could be a little higher, but this wick here, 762. But I'm going to keep it where it is just for the hell of it. So, what you can see is that we actually got support right where I said. And, that's right here, right? So we'll look at the 4-hour real quick and see what happened and how that played out, because we talked about this. We talked about if it got support at $8 or 787, that I would actually put a play in and I would run this thing up to 1107. Look where it hit, 1102. So I actually put a sell order in at 1099 and I got filled on that. So that was my play. I wasn't even watching the charts. I just put a sell order at 1099. And I told myself, if I saw it get back above $11 and find support with volume and an hourly confirmation and all that, then I would go long for further upside. And we could not get that. And on the 4-hour, we ended up with a massive red TD9 flash. So far, everything's working out to the T. And we came back down. We ended up coming down almost perfectly to this 755, which was actually 763. So that's probably the level. Oh, shit. So if you were actually playing this thing, right? Whether you're locked in down here and holding, or you're locked in up here and holding, or you sold for a loss because you bought this top here and you hate this thing, that's fine, because we discussed every possibility possible in the very first video I made. And, I didn't have any of these signals. I just had this. And I didn't do much analyzing on it. Obviously, I just saw that we were a pump and dump, basically. Now that I'm looking at it further, though, I'm seeing what's actually being built here, and this is actually kind of interesting to me. So, for me, like I said, I'm not going to be sitting in here waiting for this thing to potentially go to wherever they think. But I am going to be looking at this thing over the course of, let's see. So from February 2nd to February 24th, about 22 days, it built this beautiful rounding structure. Now, I can't speculate on what this actually is, but we could actually consider that this could be potentially, believe it or not, a cup and handle formation. Okay, so if this was a cup and handle, right, this is your absolute potentially gorgeous cup. Now that's one scenario. So if we look at the daily, right, there's a spinning top on the daily, and it does look like, as of right now, we are maintaining support on this $7.62. I don't expect that we are going to stay in that level, but we'll have to wait and see. But I see that the daily RSI is rolling down. And, last time we did have this first peak here. Now, it could have a nice dip down and a nice double bottom, potentially. This is just speculation because nothing ever rhymes. I mean, nothing's ever the same, but sometimes it rhymes. So we had a nice little double bottom. Then we had a big run up. We peaked, then we dropped, then we came back up and tested this as resistance. And then we dropped and created like this little head and shoulders pattern here, right? If this is in fact doing the same style thing, where a double bottom somewhere, it has a run up, and so on and so forth, and creates something similar, right? It could come back lower, or could actually be creating this head and shoulders. So this cup and handle. So I'm going to keep this idea in mind. And this isn't a video to hype anyone up. It's just a video to go through what I'm seeing and what I'm analyzing here based off of this structure here. And I want to look at what the potential breakout target would be if, in fact, this was some type of cup and handle. And this measure move actually runs up pretty perfectly. I mean, it's obviously a little bit overstretched, but, for me, if I was playing this and I was to go long here at 11.20, we probably would run up, maybe get a rejection at 13.30, maybe come back down, retest it as support. And if we broke this 13.30, we could actually come up to this potential measured move, if this is in fact a cup and handle, of 15.97. So you'd want to put your sell order there at the 15.85, something like that, and then look for further potential of this turning into support, right? Could it run completely up? It could, but, for me, it's not worth the risk. I'd rather take profits at my potential plan. Now, of course, we could just run it from 11 to 13.30 as well. That would be even less risky of a play, and then wait and see if it can find support at 13.30 and then run it up to here, of course. Now, this is further out, of course, because we don't know if this is a cup and handle, and we don't know if this is going to create any more further bullish structure. But as of right now, I do see downside here. So I want to look at if this was not going to be a cup and handle, but in fact, we were going to create a bigger W or rounding bottom. Where could we actually find the bottom? So, of course, we want this to be the bottom. If you're bullish on this thing, you want this to be the bottom here. But being that there's a spinning top and the RSI looks ready to come down further, it could actually break the structure. So the next level of support that we have down is anywhere. Now, I want to talk about 627 because we know that these wicks here came up and it was caused resistance. So that's a very possibility that 627 to 623 could be that support. But personally, I would kind of expect that if we didn't come all the way back down here again to this 522, roughly 532 level, then we might actually create some type of W or rounding structure on this 591 next. And, I'm going to do one more bullish breakout potential here. And, hate this if you want or love it. I don't care. But like I've said, don't hate it. Don't date it. Just trade it, right? If there's money to be made, don't sit on the sidelines and be like, well, this thing is fucking stupid. It's fucking everything up. I hate it. If you're a trader. I mean, you can think that way, of course. But if there's money to be made, why not make it? That's why we played GME the other day. And that's why I played GME. And I made like $450 in less than an hour. Like, that was insane. That volatility, a couple different swings, couple different plays. It was phenomenal. So, let's say that this was going to be a W break, right? This is just speculating because I don't know how it's going to be formed. I don't know if it's going to form like this or if it's going to form like that. But in reality, the end result is the same. But the target would be bigger. So, if in fact this was going to be a big W breakout, and we did actually create that W, then you could actually look for, and this is still a little overstretched. It's roughly the same breakout actually of the cup and handle target as well. So signs are really pointing to the 1616 level, but like I said, I would definitely take profits at this 1597. It's not a rush. You just need to, of course, you need to find support at least at this 1522, just based off of the bodies of these candles. Usually I go off the wicks. So you have your wick here at 1602. You have your wick here at 1663. You have your wick here at 1724. I mean, one of these three will be, confluence. We just don't know which one. Obviously, they had three different levels of potential resistance above. And maybe this was the first one, 1651. And maybe we would just go off of that one. But needless to say, I'm going to stick to the fib retracements here. So we have two different targets of this 1597 level that's actually looking like it could be something. So anyway, I'm not saying go and put all your money in this thing. Hell no, I am not saying that. This is a very risky thing. But I am saying that if you are into TA and you are into structure and you are into buying and selling and you feel strongly about that these charts work and they do help as a solid tool, I'm saying that keep an eye on this because, you don't want to be the one that's in 3-4 months that's saying, wow, they were fucking right. Damn, I kind of wish I put like a couple, blah, blah, blah in it. But you also don't want to be like, well, maybe this will happen. I'm going to put money in it. You know what I mean? So you want to just watch this price action. That's right. That's my personal views on it, right? So I missed this first run up, right? My buddy actually was talking about this, and he didn't know about the short squeeze, but he said, dude, this thing's down at $2. I think I'm going to throw a couple $100 in it. AMC might be going out of business, but that's just because of COVID. What if I threw, 400 or 500 in and just said, fuck it, what if it goes back to where it was? So he did that. And a week later, we both didn't know about the short squeeze action. And a couple weeks later, this thing started running up. So I told him, I said, dude, the structure is actually looking pretty good. I would look for some resistance somewhere around here, right? So he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Now, I didn't know anything about the short squeeze. I told him a couple different areas. I said, 352, 310, shit like that. But I would have never seen any of this coming. I guess the only way that you could find this FOMO target here, and that might actually change our target if that's actually going to line up. So let me look at this. But needless to say, he did sell, and he said, you know what, I figured I'd just take my profits because that was some quick profits. And then it went to $22 and he was like, or 20, whatever. And he was like, holy shit. But based off of that W breakout, I actually want to look at something really quick. And of course, if you don't give a fuck about this, then, don't have to watch it. But I want to look at this potential because I could be doing a W breakout wrong, actually. So I want to see if this actually... Nah, I don't think that's going to line up. No, it's not. Not quite. No. Okay, never mind. I was just thinking that maybe... I'll just say my idea out loud here while we're talking. I was thinking that maybe with a W breakout, you would go from the height of the... Yeah, I was thinking that if this was... Say this is a W breakout here, that I would run a trend line from the tip of this point here straight across, which I think we already did that over here, so it doesn't even... Yeah, we did. We kind of did that right here if this is going to be the W. So anyway, I was just trying to check and see if I was going to get a bigger move by going off of here versus going off of like something like this. But that is where you would go from. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I just wanted to put this video out here because I was looking at this morning and... of course, this doesn't have to be, wow, that's crazy that that's actually, I put, putting this in here. Now, okay, so we have this action here, right? So whether or not this ends up being a W or if it ends up being some kind of, I mean, I can't really call it a bear flag. So what if this was actually some type of flagpole here, right? Just for speculation purposes. I think you would either go by this, but maybe we should just go by this pole here. And let's see if this target lines up perfectly as well, or if we go up higher. So say you actually get... So this is a green, then a red. What if you get a green week here? And you have a break. Yeah, see? Everything is lining up to this potential area. So I'm really liking this potential of this 1597. And then obviously if further action happens, then it happens. But for now, this is just where I'm at. So I'm going to keep my eye on this thing because I will play a couple swings on it if in fact this does work out the way that I'm looking at it. But I'm not going to enter until, like I said. Now on the hourly here, what if you were getting an inverse head and shoulders as well? Because it kind of looks like it could be making an inverse head and shoulders here. So, there's many different ways to look at this thing. But, you don't want to... I mean, you could play a potential inverse head and shoulders as well here. If you could find support on this $9 range again. Look for confirmation and look for potential of this being... maybe being an inverse head and shoulders. But to me, I don't like saying maybe, so I think I want to just stick to my original thought here of if you get above $11 and find support on $11, we will make a play on here with a stop loss at 10.30. That's my thought here, okay? That's how I'm going to play this, so I'm just putting my ideas out here. And if this ends up going to shit, then, that just means that I'll just watch it from the sidelines and my money is not in risk. And that's where I'm at. I'm not going to start buying here and speculating it'll be here. I'm going to say, from a technical analysis standpoint, if it gets support on this $11 range, there's a volume confirmed, we get an hourly close above, I will go long. And that's that.